Let's bring in our racing analyst, Tim Hauraney. So, Tim, the first qualifying session, red flagged when Lance Stroll lost control of his Aston Martin and hit that final corner. Now, the Canadian able to walk away, said he was unhurt, but what happened?
Yeah, quite a bit goes into this one, Glenn. I mean, once Lance gets right into qualifying, gets impeded by Logan Sargent, and then it's kind of a snowball effect for from there on out for him. Team calls him into the pits to give him a fresh set of tires, but the FIA calls him over to the weighbridge. And so what that does is that puts him to the back of the queue. So when the team puts fresh tires on and sends him back out, he is now in this long train of cars that are just trying to make the start-finish line so they can try and get a lap in before the checkered flag falls. What that does, though, that ruins Lance's preparation lap because he's got to dart in and out of all of these cars, so he can't really bake this cake, as I like to call it. You know, when you bake a cake, if you over-bake it, you know, it tastes not very good, but when you under-bake it, it's raw. For these tires, it's sort of the same thing. When the driver can get them in the right window, they have a lot of performance. So, tires are junk on this push lap of his. He also has an Alpine car in front of him that is 2 seconds in front of him. That is not enough because it's disturbing all of the air that's coming back to Lance's car. He doesn't have enough downforce. And then in that final turn, Lance knows that he might not make it out of Q1, and so he knows he needs to do something special in a corner, and he chooses this really fast corner to try and do it. The tires aren't there for him. He has very little downforce because of the car in front of him, and also he hits this little tiny bump, and that unsettles all of the downforce that's going underneath the race car at the same time. Has a big snap of oversteer, he can't catch it, and he goes right into the wall.
So many variables into one accident. Also on Saturday, for the first time this season, Max Verstappen winning a race. Well, that's been put in doubt after qualifying a disappointing 11th. Tim, was this a driver issue in your mind or a track issue?
It's a good question, Glenn, but it's both in my opinion. You know, coming into this weekend, Red Bull and Max Verstappen, they knew that this was going to be a difficult track for them. It doesn't suit their race car. And for Max, couldn't get the car in the right window for balance where he was happy with it in free practice 1 and free practice 2, free practice 3. The team couldn't find it. He just told them that, hey, this is unacceptable. And so now heading into qualifying, you've got an angry race car driver and an ill-handling race car. And put those two things together, they just don't work out. And so for Max, he now has this ill-handling race car for the race on Sunday, starting P11 on a track that is very difficult to pass on. Also, the driver's telling us that the DRS effect isn't that strong at this racetrack. And for Red Bull Racing, you know, that's one of their biggest weapons. And so on Sunday, Glenn, I think this could be the race weekend where we see Max Verstappen's winning streak come to an end. I also think Red Bull Racing's winning streak could possibly come to an end as well.
Wow. Well, Verstappen's already ruled out a win on Sunday, saying, yeah, you can forget about that. But Tim, he's been known to shock us many times before, so let's see how it plays out. Thanks for this.